Adanna's laughter filled the Valley of Commons. Her joy brightened her mother's life after the fever took her father, leaving them with a humble trading store. Every day, Adanna gazed at the distant hills of gold, where riches gleamed and dreams seemed possible yet unreachable. The Valley of Commons thrived on hope and hard work. Homes were built from mud, but dreams grew larger. Adanna and her mother worked tirelessly, making their small stall a haven of laughter and perseverance amid the valley's struggles, united by a shared bond of survival. Beyond the valley lay the hills of gold. Giant mansions gleamed like promises, their inhabitants adorned with wealth. Their cars purred like contented cats, a stark contrast to the dusty roads of the valley. Adanna wondered what life would be like in their world of abundance. The market buzzed with energy, battering voices, ripe mangoes, and colorful fabrics. Adanna's laughter attracted customers, a beacon amid the chaos. Amidst the crowd, a figure emerged, draped in a crisp white agbada. His presence commanded attention, and his gaze rested on Adanna. Chief Okoro's agbada shimmered in the sun. Gold rings adorned his fingers, and his smile radiated wealth. His voice was honey thunder as he praised Adanna. Such talent, he said, promising opportunities. The seeds of hope began to take root in her mother's heart. That evening, Chief Okoro's words lingered like whispers in the wind. He spoke of scholarships and brighter futures for talented girls. Adanna's mother, weighed down by struggles, saw hope in his promises. Could this be the chance to escape their poverty? In the corner, Grandmother Eneni ground herbs with rhythmic determination. Her blind eyes saw beyond appearances. The hyena, she said, her voice cracking with wisdom, does not sponsor the antelope's education. Her words fell heavy, but poverty often deafens ears to warnings. Poverty painted Chief Okoro's promises in dazzling hues. When he returned with official papers and photographs of smiling girls in university uniforms, even the night birds' mournful cries were drowned by hope. Adanna's mother, blinded by ambition, began considering the offer. Subtle warnings emerged for those attuned to the valley's rhythms. The truth-seeing tortoise retreated whenever Chief Okoro's car passed. The night bird's song turned to shrieks, and shadows seemed to linger longer when men from the hills of gold appeared. Chioma, once a brilliant student, returned to the valley transformed. She wore fine clothes beyond her family's means, her smile dimmed. She avoided eye contact, and whispers spread about her involvement with men from the hills. Adanna noticed, but fear silenced her questions. One night, Zainab climbed through Adanna's window. Her dress was torn, her makeup streaked with tears. Her trembling voice recounted horrifying truths, men from the hills of gold who exploited girls, trading innocence for promises. Adanna listened, her dreams cracking under the weight of Zainab's revelations. Zainab spoke of a silent web trapping many girls. Promises of scholarships turned into parties where innocence was stolen, photographs used for blackmail. Chief Okoro is a hyena, she whispered. Adanna's heart raced as realization dawned, dreams offered by hyenas lead to despair. Adanna's mother, filled with conflicting emotions, considered Chief Okoro's offer. Poverty weighed heavily, yet Grandmother Eneni's warning lingered. Zainab's story added to the turmoil, planting seeds of doubt. Could promises from the hills of gold truly be trusted, or were they traps in disguise? As the market buzzed with life, shadows of fear and suspicion grew. Mothers whispered among themselves, sharing quiet concerns about the men who visited their daughters. Adanna watched as subtle changes in her community painted an ominous picture. In the dim light of evening, Grandmother Eneni spoke again. The hyena wears many disguises, she said. He preys on dreams, turning them into chains. Remember, the night bird's cry is not just a song, it's a warning. Her words echoed with ancient wisdom. The truth-seeing tortoise, a sacred relic of the valley shrine, became a symbol of resistance. It would retreat into its shell when danger loomed, warning the community. Adanna began to notice its behavior whenever Chief Okoro's car passed through the valley. The mothers of the valley began sharing their worries. Quiet conversations turned to cautious plans as they wondered how to protect their daughters. They saw the changes in their girls, once bright and hopeful, now burdened with silent pain and expensive clothing. Grandmother Eneni called for a secret gathering in her compound. Mothers, aunts, and sisters gathered, their faces lit by firelight. The hyenas hunt silently, Eneni began. But we must become the prey that fights back. Together, we will protect our daughters. The women of the valley formed an unbreakable bond. They shared stories, piecing together the truth about Chief Okoro and others like him. With determination burning in their eyes, they vowed to confront the silent hyenas and expose their deceitful ways. In Grandmother Eneni's compound, plans began to take shape. Women volunteered to follow the men from the hills, gather evidence, and protect vulnerable girls. They decided to use coded messages and signals to alert one another of danger. The community radio broadcast its first coded warning about hyena sightings. The night bird's cry became a symbol of danger. Slowly, girls in the valley learned to recognize the signs and avoid the traps set by the men from the hills. Chief Okoro, sensing resistance, began using new tactics. He sent other men in his place, wearing different disguises and using softer words. But the valley women, armed with knowledge, saw through their schemes and kept their daughters safe. Zainab shared her story publicly on the community radio, despite her fears. Her courage inspired other girls to speak out. Their voices, once silenced, began to break the chains of fear. The valley started to rise against the silent hyenas. Journalists, emboldened by the community's defiance, began investigating. Evidence surfaced, photos, documents, and testimonies that painted a damning picture of the men from the hills. The valley women worked tirelessly to gather and share this information. The market became a hub of resistance. Traders passed messages hidden in goods, and customers exchanged warnings. Adanna and her mother played their part, ensuring that information flowed smoothly to those who needed it. The night bird's cry, once feared, became a rallying call. It signaled unity and courage. Girls began working together, watching over one another, and reporting suspicious activities. The hyenas found their usual tactics increasingly difficult to execute. The hills of gold, once untouchable, began to feel the weight of the valley's resistance. Chief Okoro's reputation faltered as whispers of his misdeeds spread. The power dynamic shifted, and the hyenas began to feel haunted. The valley, united by purpose, grew stronger. Mothers guarded their daughters, sisters supported one another, and the men of the community joined in the fight. Together, they formed a shield of protection against the silent hyenas. Adanna, once tempted by Chief Okoro's promises, now stood tall with her community. She became a voice of courage, inspiring others to see the truth. The valley thrived as its people reclaimed their power, ensuring the hyenas could no longer hunt in silence. Whispers of the hyenas' past actions spread throughout the valley. Mothers shared their daughters' experiences, strengthening their resolve. The scars left by broken promises united the community, and each story became a torch lighting the path to justice. The radio broadcast carried stories of bravery and survival, urging others to stand firm. Zainab's voice resonated with courage. Together, we can end this. The women rallied, their collective strength creating a barrier the hyenas could no longer cross unnoticed. Girls who once feared speaking out found courage in the valley's solidarity. The whispers turned into a chorus of voices, revealing the truth. Chief Okoro and his accomplices faced the weight of a united community determined to protect its own. The hyenas adapted, using younger men and offering subtler promises. But the valley women's vigilance exposed these traps. Mothers taught their daughters how to spot deceit no matter the disguise, building a legacy of awareness and protection. A fearless journalist uncovered critical evidence tying Chief Okoro to illegal schemes. The story made headlines, shaking the hills of gold. The once untouchable hyenas found themselves surrounded by the truth they had tried to bury. Grandmother Eneni, despite her blindness, guided the valley with her wisdom. The hyena thrives on silence. Break it, and they lose their power. Her words became the mantra of the movement, inspiring unity and action across the valley. Chief Okoro's closest accomplice was arrested. The news spread like wildfire, igniting hope in the valley. The hills of gold trembled as more names emerged, each tied to the network of exploitation that preyed on the valley's daughters. The truth-seeing tortoise, symbolic of the community's fight, was honored in a ceremony. Its emergence from its shell became a powerful image of victory. Adanna and her friends pledged to uphold the values that had saved their community. Chief Okoro's polished agbada could no longer hide his crimes. As evidence mounted, his allies abandoned him. His arrest marked the beginning of a new chapter, where the valley's unity defeated the silent hyenas that once roamed freely. The valley focused on healing its wounds. Women shared their stories openly, creating a space for support and recovery. The younger generation learned to cherish their voices, ensuring that silence could no longer empower the hyenas. In the evenings, the market women sang songs of triumph. These melodies echoed the valley's journey, teaching its daughters to value courage and unity. Adanna's laughter returned, a symbol of the resilience that had saved them all. The valley's resistance inspired neighboring communities. Stories of bravery spread, encouraging others to fight against exploitation. The valley women shared their strategies, empowering others to identify and confront the silent hyenas in their own lives. Adanna became a leader among her peers, sharing her story at schools and gatherings. Her laughter, once innocent, now carried the weight of wisdom. She taught others to recognize hyenas' traps and value the strength of a united community. The hills of gold, once a symbol of untouchable power, crumbled under scrutiny. Corruption was exposed, and justice prevailed. The valley's collective efforts brought down those who had long exploited their people. The valley girls reclaimed their dreams, no longer tied to false promises. Adanna returned to school, her future brighter and free of deception. Zainab found her voice again, becoming a symbol of resilience for the entire community. The valley nurtured a generation of strong, aware girls. These young leaders carried the lessons of their mothers, ensuring the valley remained vigilant. Together, they built a community where truth and unity thrived. The market thrived, not just with trade but with shared wisdom. Mothers passed down stories of the hyenas, ensuring their daughters never forgot the strength that had protected them. Adanna and her mother found renewed joy in their work. The valley established its own scholarship program, led by the community. Girls could now pursue education without falling prey to exploitation. Adanna's laughter echoed in classrooms, her voice inspiring others to follow their dreams fearlessly. Adanna's mother, once torn by desperation, found solace in her daughter's resilience. She thanked the women who had fought alongside them and vowed to never let silence enable injustice again. Their bond grew stronger through shared struggles. Zainab became a beacon of hope, her bravery inspiring others to speak out. She worked tirelessly to help other girls trapped in fear, proving that one voice could spark a revolution of change. The valley, once overshadowed by the hills of gold, became a symbol of resilience. Its people, united by courage and wisdom, left behind a legacy of strength. The silent hyenas had been defeated, but the valley's vigilance would never waver. The night bird's cries became a symbol of hope, no longer a warning. Its melodies now celebrated the unity of the valley. Adanna and her friends danced to its songs, grateful for the strength they found in their community. The valley held a festival to honor the women who had stood against the hyenas. Adanna, Zainab, and their peers were celebrated as heroes. The market was adorned with colors, laughter filled the air, and songs of triumph echoed through the night. Adanna's mother shared her wisdom with other mothers. Never let poverty silence your instincts, she said. A hyena's promises are only as real as the shadows they cast. Her words became a guiding principle for future generations. The valley worked to rebuild trust within its community. Families who had been divided by fear and silence found healing in shared stories. The bonds between neighbors grew stronger, fortified by their collective victory. The truth-seeing tortoise became a cherished symbol of the valley's strength. Its image was painted on walls and woven into fabrics, reminding everyone of the wisdom and vigilance that had protected them from the silent hyenas. The girls of the valley walked with confidence, no longer preyed to false promises. Education and empowerment became their armor, and their voices, once silenced, became a powerful force for change and progress. The hills of gold, shaken by exposure, began to change. New leaders emerged, promising transparency and fairness. The valley kept a watchful eye, ensuring the lessons of the past were not forgotten or ignored. Adanna excelled in her studies, inspired by the sacrifices of her community. Her laughter, once a symbol of innocence, became a beacon of resilience. She dreamed of becoming a teacher to guide future generations in the valley. Zainab dedicated her life to helping girls in neighboring communities. Her story inspired others to stand against exploitation. She became a traveling advocate, spreading the valley's message of courage and unity wherever she went. Grandmother Nne, the valley's guiding light, passed away peacefully. Her wisdom lived on in the hearts of the women she had empowered. The community honored her memory with a shrine, ensuring her teachings endured. The valley's younger generation grew up with the stories of the silent hynas. They were taught to recognize deceit and value unity. The lessons of their mothers and grandmothers became the foundation of a resilient community. The women of the valley formed a council to protect girls from future threats. They monitored opportunities offered to the community, ensuring that no hyenas could hide behind masks of generosity again. Leaders from the hills of gold visited the valley, offering apologies and restitution. While some accepted their gestures, others remained cautious. The valley's trust had been broken, but its people remained united in vigilance. The community radio continued to be a voice for truth. It broadcast stories of triumph and warnings against exploitation. The night bird's cry, once feared, became a signature sound of empowerment across the region. Adanna addressed her school for the first time, sharing the valley's story. Her words moved her classmates and teachers, inspiring them to value unity and courage. She became a leader, determined to carry her community's legacy forward. Truth became the valley's strongest weapon. Lies and deceit, once hidden in shadows, were exposed under the light of unity. The hyena's power crumbled as the valley's people embraced honesty and shared knowledge. Zainab established a foundation to support girls' education. Funded by donations from the valley and beyond, it provided scholarships and resources, ensuring that no girl would have to rely on false promises for a brighter future. The marketplace became a symbol of prosperity and resilience. It flourished with trade and laughter, and its traders shared stories of the valley's triumph. The women ensured it remained a safe space for everyone. Adanna promised her mother she would succeed in school and return to uplift their community. Her determination inspired other girls to pursue their dreams, knowing they had the support of their families and the valley. The valley's story spread far and wide, inspiring other communities to unite against exploitation. Adanna's laughter, once a local treasure, became a symbol of resilience, reminding everyone that unity is stronger than any hyena's silence. The valley's story inspired other communities to rise against exploitation. Messages of unity spread, reaching distant villages. Adanna's story became a symbol of hope, proving that even the smallest voices could spark the loudest revolutions. Communities joined forces with the valley, sharing resources and strategies. The Women's Council became a network of strength, ensuring that hyenas could no longer prey on innocence. Together, they built a shield of protection for future generations. Girls in the valley, once burdened by fear, began to smile freely again. Adanna's laughter echoed in the market, a reminder that joy and resilience could overcome even the darkest trials. The valley thrived in unity. Adanna's mother thanked the women who had stood by her. "Your strength gave me courage," she said. The bond between the valley's women grew deeper, rooted in their shared determination to protect their daughters. Adanna received her first school award for excellence. Her mother beamed with pride, knowing the sacrifices they had made were worth it. Adanna vowed to use her education to uplift her community and honor her family's struggles. Zainab's foundation gained recognition, attracting support from across the region. She traveled to share her story, empowering girls to find their voices. Her courage became a beacon of hope for those who thought they had none. The shrine honoring grandmother Nne became a place of wisdom. Women visited it for guidance, sharing stories and advice. Her legacy lived on, shaping the valley's future and ensuring vigilance against new threats. The market flourished with new energy. Traders worked together, using their profits to support community projects. It became a hub of resilience, where stories of the valley's triumph inspired everyone who passed through. The hills of gold, once a symbol of corruption, began to change. Leaders implemented reforms to restore trust, driven by the valley's resilience. While skepticism remained, the valley's strength ensured accountability. Adanna spoke at a community gathering, sharing her journey. "Our unity saved us," she said. "Let's ensure no girl faces what we overcame." Her words inspired others to stand against exploitation, building a future of hope.